Contestable markets. See, in case of contestable markets, there can be a monopoly firm. There can be several firms also, but there is always a threat of competition. So there can be a monopoly firm. There can be one dominating firm, or there can be several dominating firms. But there is always a threat of competition. But there is always a threat of competition to the incumbent firm. So monopoly firm, or the firms which are already there in the market, these are the incumbent firms. So there is a threat of competition from the potential entrants. From whom? From potential entrants. Right? और ये जो entrants हैं, they can just come and they can leave the market on their own. There is free entry and exit. I'll give you examples also, but just let me just set up the background story first. So anybody could come and anybody could leave. There are not huge entry costs, and there are not huge exit costs also. So anyone can leave also in case if the profits are not there in the market. So there is always, so there is a free entry and exit. There is a free entry or exit by potential firms, by potential entrants, right? Incumbent firm, although they are dominating, but they are also threatened by the competitors, so they have to keep their prices competitive. So incumbent firms yes, they are dominating the market for sure. But they are afraid of the competition. But there's a threat of competition from new competitors, from new entrants in the market. So what is the result of that? Despite of their dominating position, they cannot keep prices very high. Why? Because there can be some other new entrant who's going to come to the market and it will say, okay, I want to sell at the lower price, right? So prices are kept competitive. Prices are kept competitive. So our prices are going to be very near to the cost. So the markets are going to be efficient. Markets are going to be efficient. So there are few characteristics of contestable markets. What are the different characteristics? Characteristics of contestable markets. So one of the characteristic of contestable market is that there is free entry and exit. That is the basic thing. There is free entry and exit, right? So anybody could enter, anybody could go. There are low sunk costs. So sunk costs are those which are not recoverable. And low sunk cost would mean that firms can enter the market without making huge investments, and they can also leave the market without having to worry about whether these investments are going to be recovered or not, right? So low sunk cost. Firms आ सकती हैं market के अंदर, and they can just leave also without having to worry about whether they will be able to uh, recover these huge investments or not, or whatever investment they have made or not, right? So if at all they're going to make any investment, that will be recovered. That will be recovered. So, I mean, the danger of that investment gone, that is not going to be there. So danger of investment being lost is not there. Is not present. Danger of investment being lost is not present. Right? So, acha, there is other thing also. One is the sunk cost is, I mean, which cannot be recovered. So sometimes when the firms are entering the market, they also have to make huge marketing expenses. So why do you think they have to make huge marketing expenses? They have to make huge marketing expenses because they have to tell to the consumers that they exist in the market, right? But why do they have to? I mean, consumers are not very much attached to the dominating firm. Supposedly, I'm the incumbent firm. Consumers are not attached to the incumbent firm as such. So any new potential entrant could come to the market, and consumers can also view them as the another firm, right? So consumers are also not attached to any particular incumbent firm. So ऐसे सोचे कि अगर consumers incumbent firm से attached होते, then what they would have done? Then any new potential entrant would have to invest a lot in the marketing expenses. Now they do not have to invest a lot in the marketing expenses, right? So any new potential entrant doesn't have to make huge marketing expenses. Huge marketing expenses, right? Then the another characteristic of contestable market is that there is a threat of competition, threat of potential entrants. Right. So when there are low barriers to entry or there are no barriers to entry, so potential entrants, what they can do, they can just come to the market, get some easy profit, and when they want to leave, they just leave. वो आए, उन्होंने प्रॉफिट कमाया और चले गए, बिकॉज एग्जिट कॉस्ट भी बहुत ज्यादा नहीं है, राइट? So they don't have much exit cost also. So this is also a threat to the incumbent firm कि भैया कोई भी नया पोटेंशियल एंट्रेंट आ जाएगा और पैसे कमाएगा ये और ये चला भी जाएगा, राइट? सो potential entrants, they also have knowledge about how incumbent firms they are making profits. So please write potential entrants. One, there is free entry and exit. This potential entrance की threat क्यों है? Because of free entry and exit. And other, that potential entrants have the knowledge how incumbent firms are making profits. तो अगर पोटेंशियल एंट्रेंट्स को पता है कि incumbent firm how are they making profits, then incumbent firms won't be able to keep their supernormal profits for so long. वो नहीं मेंटेन कर पाएंगे supernormal profits को बहुत लंबे समय तक, right? And the another characteristic of contestable market is that the prices are competitive. Prices are competitive. And profits low. Prices are competitive and profits low. Because of free entry and exit, what happens? Potential entrants, they can enter, they can challenge the incumbent firm, make some profits, they can leave. But this threat that these potential entrants can come at any moment, incumbent firms, they cannot charge very high price. So prices are very much near to the cost only. And because prices are very much near to the cost, profits are also low. So these are few characteristics of contestable markets. These are few characteristics of contestable markets, right? इसका graphical representation देखिए. So what you have is price, quantity. So you have the AR curve. The MR curve, right? Let's say this is your AC curve, right? And this is the MC curve. So in case if there was a monopoly firm, if this would have been a monopoly equilibrium, or if there was no entrant there, then equilibrium is going to be at this particular point, right? Equilibrium is going to be at this particular point, right? Where MR is equal to MC. And firm is going to charge P1 and going to produce Q. So this is an equilibrium. If it was an incumbent firm is a monopoly. incumbent firm is a monopoly, right? But in case if there is a threat of entry, an incumbent firm knows that it cannot it cannot charge very high price. So it will be charging price which is very, very near to the cost or equal to cost. So where P is equal to AC. And this is the price which the firm is going to charge, and this is the quantity which it is going to produce. So in case if firm doesn't do this, in case if the firm is going to charge the price which is higher than this average cost, then what is going to happen? In that case, firm is going to make supernormal profits. So what is the problem with supernormal profits? Other firms are going to be attracted toward this particular firm, that this firm is making supernormal profits. Let us also enter. So there is a threat of competition, right? So this is that case if monopoly firm is attracted by supernormal profits, right? Is attracted by supernormal profits. What's the examples में है for contestable markets? So what are the different examples here? So examples could be, for example, sellers on e-commerce platforms. So any one of us can just go and make an account on Amazon and we can start selling if we want, right? So, and anybody could enter being the seller on Amazon when the demand is high without making huge entry cost or huge entry investment. And anybody could leave in case of the profits are going low without incurring huge huge exit cost, right? And there are some sellers which are already there on Amazon, which are selling almost a similar product which you and I want to sell. But they are also frightened because of us that they cannot charge very high price because these guys are going to sell at the lower price then, right? So this is a perfect example for contestable market, right? So streaming service. Service like Netflix, Amazon, right? So in these cases also it can happen. Supposedly in case of Netflix says, no, I'm going to charge very high price. Everybody will start moving towards Amazon. Amazon is going to undercut them. They're also selling streaming service. There isn't much difference. Or there can be a new streaming service which can enter the market. For example, Jio. For example, Sony Live or whatsoever. And they can charge a little lesser price. Maybe they can charge the price for one day instead of for a year or for a month. So in those cases, in that case, Netflix is also threatened by the potential competitors. Right? So theoretically, it is like that. Theoretically, it is like that, and this is going to maintain the low price in the industry. But how contestable markets work in reality? So in reality, don't think markets are never contestable the way the theory is going to define it. So there are always some entry barriers. There are always some exit barriers, which are always there. कुछ ना कुछ एंट्री और एग्जिट बैरियर्स हमेशा रहते ही हैं. और कुछ कंज्यूमर की भी प्रेफरेंसेस रहती हैं. सम काइंड ऑफ कंज्यूमर प्रेफरेंसेस आर आल्सो देयर, right, which creates loyalty. So in reality, contestable markets are going to work like this. Because of the threat of competition, prices are going to be kept low. One, right? It is not necessary that prices will be always equal to cost. No. Second, sometimes government can also encourage contestability. Government can also say, no. I mean, why monopolies should be created? Other people should also be able to sell. So they can pass anti-monopoly laws. So in that case, other people can enter and exit the market easily. So government is also encouraging the contestable markets, right? So these are the different ways in which the contestable market is going to work in reality, right? So this is a small topic, is what I wanted to discuss in this class. Thank you, Beta.